After months of rumors, leaks, and growing fan speculation, HBO finally made it official. British actor Papa Essiedu has been cast as Severus Snape in the upcoming Harry Potter reboot. But what should have been a triumphant reveal turned into a firestorm. Instead of trending for excitement, the news exploded with backlash. Why? Because for many fans, this casting choice isn't just unexpected, it feels like a betrayal of everything HBO promised when they first announced the series. What was supposed to be a faithful, book-accurate adaptation is now being accused of doing the very thing it claimed it wouldn't: rewriting key characters for the sake of modern politics. And Snape? He's not just any character. He's one of the most complicated, controversial, and beloved figures in the entire Harry Potter universe. Recasting him, especially in this way, was never going to be subtle. And now, the fandom is divided. Let's break down what HBO promised, what they delivered, and why this casting is causing so much outrage across the wizarding world. What HBO promised fans versus what they delivered. When Warner Bros. And HBO first announced they were rebooting the Harry Potter series as a high-budget, long-form show, they weren't just selling nostalgia, they were making a promise of authenticity, a faithful, book-accurate adaptation that would correct the shortcomings of the original films and finally give die-hard fans the depth and detail they've been craving for years. The pitch was simple but powerful. This is going to be for the real fans, the ones who know every page, every scene, and every line. But now, that promise is being questioned. With the announcement that Papa Essiedu has been cast as Severus Snape, fans say HBO has already broken its commitment to accuracy. This isn't about performance. Essiedu is a talented actor. The outrage is rooted in a deeper issue: faithfulness to the text. To many fans, changing that so fundamentally, especially after months of promising loyalty to the source, isn't just artistic liberty, it's false advertising. And the bigger problem? If HBO is willing to change something this central, what else are they willing to rewrite? What began as a dream reboot is now, for many, starting to feel like a bait and switch. Let's set the record straight. The backlash to HBO's casting of Papa Essiedu as Severus Snape isn't just coming from angry right-wing trolls. This is a rare moment where fans across the political and cultural spectrum, progressive Harry Potter lovers, LGBTQ+ creators, longtime book loyalists, are united in their criticism. And the core issue? It's not race, it's the rewrite. From the beginning, Snape's character was never meant to be traditionally attractive or socially accepted. J.K. Rowling paints him vividly: pale, greasy skin, a hook nose, long black, oily hair, socially awkward, poor, bullied, often seen as creepy and unpleasant. Snape's entire identity revolves around being an outsider, not because of his race, but because of his looks, background, and demeanor. Casting a tall, handsome, well-groomed actor, especially one who doesn't match the description fans have read and reread for decades, flips the script. And more importantly, it reframes the story. The bullying he endures from James Potter and Sirius Black now risks being viewed not as petty schoolboy cruelty, but as racial violence. That's a massive shift in narrative weight. It turns one of the most morally gray, layered arcs in fantasy fiction into something entirely different. Because when you change the context of who a character is, you also change why they matter. And that's the betrayal fans are reacting to. There's a difference between adding diversity and rewriting the emotional foundation of a story. And in the case of HBO's new Harry Potter reboot, casting a black Snape doesn't just raise eyebrows, it fundamentally alters the subtext of the entire series. Let's talk about optics, because that's what fans are most concerned about here. Severus Snape's backstory is packed with emotionally complex dynamics. He's bullied by James Potter and Sirius Black during the 1970s, a time period with very real racial connotations. He's poor, socially isolated, and mocked for his appearance, not his race. His relationship with Lily Evans is built on childhood friendship, guilt, and unrequited love, not a political or cultural divide. Now, imagine all of those scenes recontextualized through a racial lens. Suddenly, James and Sirius aren't just arrogant schoolboys, they're white bullies tormenting a black classmate. Snape's anger and resentment start to look like righteous fury over racial injustice, not the internal bitterness of a lonely, morally ambiguous man. Lily's kindness could feel more like a white savior trope than a deeply personal connection. These aren't just theoretical problems, they're creative landmines. HBO is walking into a storytelling minefield where every scene could be interpreted through the lens of race, whether they intended it or not. And once those images are out there, James attacking a young black Snape, or Snape being villainized while navigating racial optics, it's canon. There's no going back. That's why fans aren't just angry. They're anxious. Because instead of trusting the strength of the original story, HBO seems more focused on checking boxes than respecting the narrative's emotional complexity. HBO knew this would spark backlash. That much is clear from how they announced it. Instead of leading with the casting of Papa Essiedu as Snape, they strategically buried it in a longer list of actors. Nick Frost as Hagrid, John Lithgow as Dumbledore, and others meant to soften the blow. But Harry Potter fans aren't easily distracted. They've spent decades dissecting every page of the books. Snape isn't just another role. He's one of the most complex characters in the series. And that means you can't slip this kind of change past a fandom that notices everything. By trying to sneak the announcement in, HBO only made things worse. It reinforced what many fans already feared, that this series isn't being made for them. It's not a love letter to the books. It's not a faithful adaptation. It's a corporate product that's already prioritizing PR optics over storytelling integrity. Now, with backlash trending across platforms, longtime fans are turning away from the project entirely. The phrase, "it's already lost the plot," has become a rallying cry online. And here's the real damage. This isn't just about Snape. It's about trust. HBO promised accuracy. Instead, fans feel baited, and many are now refusing to emotionally invest in a show they no longer believe will respect the heart of the original series. If HBO's goal was to reignite the magic of Harry Potter with a faithful adaptation, they may have just fumbled the sorting hat on day one. Casting Papa Essiedu as Snape isn't just a creative decision, it's a signal. A signal that promises made to book fans might already be broken before the cameras even roll. Yes, one casting choice doesn't define an entire series, but for many, it defines the intent behind the series. And right now, that intent feels more performative than passionate. It feels like branding, not storytelling. So, now it's your turn. Is this still the faithful adaptation fans were promised? Can the series course correct? Or is the Hogwarts Express already off the rails? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you want more unfiltered, no BS pop culture breakdowns, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. We're just getting started. Thank you for watching, folks, and I'll catch you in the next one.